Okay, hi everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me know you are there. Good evening. My name is Motunrayo. I'm a fashion designer based in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining me today on this live streaming. And today we are going to be talking about pricing and everything, maximizing profit in times like this. Okay, thank you so much for joining in. Hi lovelies from Facebook, I hope you are there. Lovelies from YouTube, I hope you are there. I'm so glad to have you. I'm so glad to have you today. I'm so glad to have you today on this live stream. I would like to be sure that you are right there. I would like to be sure that you are right there. Send me hi and let me know what part of the country you're interacting from. Send me hi, my name is Motunrayo and I'm interacting from Lagos, Nigeria. Let me know where you're interacting from. Let me know where you're interacting from. Let me know where you're interacting from. Still expecting you guys to join me. I'm expecting you guys to join me. Share this link with your friends. Let them know that I'm live now. Let them know it's time for us to interact and learn from ourselves. All right. So I'm so glad to be here tonight, and tonight we are going to be discussing a very sensitive topic when it comes to fashion designing. We tend to overlook these things. We tend to overlook what our prices should be. We tend to overlook how much our sewing project should cost. We tend to overlook how much you should go about or how much you should charge. So tonight we are going to be discussing everything pricing and maximizing profits. Okay, so first we'll be going by talking about pricing. All right, so when it comes to pricing, the truth is no one can actually tell you how you should price your product. All right, so but it's important that you know that when it comes to pricing, you should not shoot yourself in the leg. All right, so when it comes to pricing, don't shoot yourself in the leg. When it comes to pricing, don't how do I put it, don't shoot yourself in the leg. All right, so here is 4 categories or 4 things you should look at when you are actually giving a price to a client. All right, the customer is asking you, all right, I want to make a dress. There are so many things you need to consider before you give the customer the price. All right, so many of the time we tend to be in haste to just give a price. All right, so you want to charge a customer for 50K without thinking, okay, this dress I'm going to give or take 50K should do. All right, and you just give the customer the 50K you just charge the customer 50K just like that. All right, so what you have done to yourself is that you would have shortchanged yourself in one way or the other if, for example, you get to the market and the prices of things have changed. All right. Hi, I'm a fashion designer from Lagos, Nigeria, and we all understand how the Nigeria market is with prices, and the prices are just so unstable. Week in, week out, there's price change and all of that. So when you get an order, the first thing you need to do is count the cost. You have to count the cost, considering the cost of the materials, considering the cost by which you run your business, the running costs. You have to consider labor cost, then you have to consider the profits. All right, you are running a business, so there are so many things that are inside of these 4 things I've mentioned. But if you are saying that you don't even want to go overboard with this thing, you are just starting out, the best thing for you to do is to count your cost in these areas. You want to count your cost with materials. How much is this material going to cost? All right, you want to count your cost with how much does fabric cost now. You want to count your cost with how much does all of these things cost, so that you do not get to the market and you're just going to be shocked. All right, and at the end of the day, it will be possible for you to now call the client and say, oh, I'm sorry, these things did not really turn out the way I planned it. I'm sorry, there's a change in price. You're just going to look unserious. I'm sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. So you're just going to look unserious to them. So it's important that the first thing you need to do is call your vendors. You need appliques, you need stones, you need all of these expensive things, even those that are just as little as lining fabrics. Prices change from time to time. All right, so it's important for you to call your vendors, know the current price of all of these things, then pen it down. All right, so that's the first step. The second thing to do is go ahead to ask yourself the running costs. Maybe, for example, you were actually the designer for the dress. Don't forget the cost of the data which you use to design the dress. Maybe you did digital design or maybe manual design. It took you time to actually sketch that design on your sketch pad. You have to consider these things. The reason why fashion designers that have gone ahead of us, why we see some of them and we're like, okay, this person has been doing this fashion thing, she's been sewing for a while, and it doesn't seem as if they are going to move from that point anytime soon, is because when you give them a dress, they'll be like, how much will I charge you now? No, don't do that. In fact, don't ever do that to yourself. After you have seen this live stream, please and please don't do that to yourself again. Please, I beg you. All right, so don't ever do that to yourself. You need to tell the clients, this is what this is going to cost you, and trust me, they are always going to pay. Even when some of them complain, they'll be like, oh, you are too pricey and all of that, they will still pay you eventually. So do not allow yourself, do not shortchange yourself. That's just it. So that's the second thing. Count the running costs. Your business runs on fuel. Maybe you fuel a generating set. I'm sorry, I'm from Nigeria, and these are the challenges that we deal with from day to day in our businesses. You need to consider the cost of running the business on your generating set per day. All right, determine how many days it's going to cost you to make this dress. All right, you pay light bill. Consider how much light bill you are going to, how much light you need for, maybe you need to make that dress for a week. How much light do you need for a week? How much fuel do you need for your generating set for a week? How much of all of these things? These are the running costs. By the time the clients come for fitting, Probably you need to entertain the clients. They need to pay for all of these things in what you are charging them. And it is when you charge them that you would it is when you take the cost that you'll be able to know that, all right, this is what I need to charge eventually. All right, so the next thing we are considering is labor. All right, guys, I want to hear from you. If there's any point I just mentioned which you are not which you do not get clearly, please send in your message. Let me know that you're there. Let me know where you are interacting from, your state, your country. All right, so thank you guys. Okay, so the third thing we need to actually consider is labor. All right, so how much are you paying yourself? How much are you paying your tailors? If it's going to take one tailor, one fabric beater, one quality control person to vet that dress by the time it's done, you have to consider the cost of paying all of these people, and you have to include that in what you want to charge the clients. All right, so the third thing is labor. Okay, so you also have to include transportation. All right, when you go to the market to buy these things, you have to pay to get there. You have to pay to come back. So all of these things are the things that you need to actually put into your, you need to put them into the price you want to give to the clients. All right, so the next thing we need to also consider is profits. Okay, let's say for example, now you have come up with the price. You realize that for this dress, I need, the materials I need for this dress is going to be maybe 12,000 naira, and also you also realize that the running cost, your running cost at the end of the day amount to, let's say, 13,000 naira. That's 25,000 naira. Okay, so by the time you consider how much I intend to pay my client, my staffs, I mean, so you realize that, okay, I'm paying my staff, let's say 15,000 naira. Now 15,000 added to the 25,000 we actually got from the running cost and the material cost, that all together is 40,000 naira. Now you not go ahead and be like, just pay me 50k. Now, what have you done for your business? What have you done for your business? You've not done anything for your business, because don't forget that after all of this 40,000 naira, you still need some amount of cash for the miscellaneous, those things that you did not actually plan, but you just remember that, oh, I forgot to add the price of wording. Oh, I forgot to add the price of this or that. I forgot to add what I bought, this and that. Okay, so going ahead to say, okay, let me just add 5k to the running cost, and you've not done anything for your business. Your business will not be able to grow if you are not putting in what is needed. You need fund to run your business. You need fund for your business to grow. So it's important that you consider what you need. All right, it's important that you know that, okay, for every dress, this is the percentage profit. This is the percentage that will go to profits. And I want to tell you, please and please, that percentage that goes into profits, do not go ahead to spend it. Don't just say, this 50k that just came is profitable. This hair, I like this hair, the way this hair is eyeing me, and then you just say, let me just quickly borrow it. Your business will not thrive. These are the mistakes that I made, and I really don't want you to make the same mistakes. Okay, so please ensure that whatever percentage you have for profit goes to profit. Ensure that you save that money or reinvest it into your business. Don't use it on personal things. So these are the 4 or 4 or 5 areas that I feel that you really need to look into when it comes to pricing, when it comes to charging your clients. You need to actually put all of these things, put them together and give it to them. They ought to pay for it, and trust me, they always will pay for it. Let me even make you happy, okay? One thing you don't know is when you give your customers those prices, they'll tell you, oh, you are too pricey, just expect it. All right? But if you stand your ground, that's the truth. If you stand your ground, they'll pay you. Okay, so you also don't have to go overboard. All right? So you can't compare yourself with somebody that have had years of experience. You can't compare yourself with somebody that have years of experience on finishing, years of experience on corseting, years of experience of sketching, to you that are just coming up. Okay, so it's important that the more you aspire to be bigger, the more you aspire for the bigger cash, the bigger income, the more you also should invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself and you deliver your products and your client sees that, okay, this is exceptional, they will always pay for it. Just take this from me, that's the truth. They will always pay for it. All right, so the next thing I also want to bring to your notice is, after you have put all of these things together, it's important that you take your time with your clients. Don't just, I know that maybe probably for corsets, oh, why am I mentioning corset? Okay, let's just leave corset for now. All right, so maybe for a shift dress, right now you charge maybe, let's say, 8 to 10,000 naira, and after I've mentioned all of this, you feel, oh, truly 8 to 10,000 naira cannot do this thing, and you feel it's time of the day, after your calculation, you have, let's say, 15,000, and your client is like, what, you sold this thing for me 8k, how did it become 15,000 naira? For the first time, you can give them some discounts, but you have to let them know that these are the new prices, this is my new price list. Okay, but because you were not aware before, I'm going to give you this amount or this price or percentage off, so that the next time they are coming back, they know that you already up your price and they will be ready for it. So that's one truth I want you to hold on to. Then another thing, you can also go ahead to send messages all across to your, this is what I do from time to time, anytime I need to change my price. Okay, so I just send message all across to my clients, and they'll be like, oh, Moeta, you are at it again. All right, so by the way, my brand name is Moeta Collections, and you can actually check me out on Instagram, and you can also drop your thoughts about this live session right there. Okay, so they'll be like, oh, Moeta, you are at it again, you are about to change, you are about to take all my money, stuff like that. So they just joke about it just like that. So you can use this medium also, send the message across to them and then just wait for their response. But while you the next time they come for an order, you can actually still give them a discount, but you still remind them, oh, you know, I told you that price have changed. So ensure that you do this, and also ensure that the next time they are coming after that first time, give them the new price. Okay, so that's it about pricing. I hope you've been able to gain a thing or two. We're now moving on to maximizing profit in times like this. Okay, so before I go on, let me know where you're interacting from. Thank you, Olo. I see you. I see you. Let me know where you're interacting from. So, like I said, my name is Motunrayo and I'm interacting from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay? So, let me know where you're interacting from. Are you interacting from Abuja? Are you interacting from Benin City? Are you interacting from Port Harcourt? Are you interacting from Ghana? Are you interacting from wherever you're interacting from? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget, the topic we are discussing tonight is pricing and maximizing profits in times like this. So we just dealt with pricing, and we've been able to, if there's something you don't understand, you can drop your questions in the comments. I will do well to give you responses as soon as I see them. Okay, so next is, let's talk about maximizing profit in times like this. All right, I'm going to be bringing this down to fashion designers in Nigeria. We all know that right now, due to price hike, the surge, the removal of subsidy, everybody is just on their toes trying to get their business running. So it's important that we have to re-strategize on these things so that we will not run our businesses at loss. The removal of fuel subsidy is really pushing everybody. Is really pushing everybody to I pray God gives us wisdom to manage our resources at this time and to bear all of these things. So now that we can't actually do anything about the situation of the economy, we have to look at how we can manage our fund, how we can manage our resources, how we can run our business, how we can run our business. Yes, run our business. Okay, so here is a few things that I have in mind, which I want to share with us all. Okay, so the first thing we need to actually do okay guys, I'm really sorry about that. So the first thing that we need to do is, okay, let me take that again. All right, so I'm right now I'm going into maximizing profit. I just dealt with pricing. Okay, so what you need to charge your client and how you need to charge your clients, I just dealt with that. So let's look at how we can maximize our profits in times like this. Tumishe, I see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get current prices. It's important that we get, because this thing is still related to pricing. It's important that we call our vendors to get the current price of these things, so that when we are charging our clients, we actually charge them based on the current price. That will actually save us from running at loss. Since it's not possible for you to now call your clients back, it's unethical, it's unprofessional for you to call your client back and be like, oh, I'm sorry, the applique used to be 20,000 naira, but now is 35,000 naira. The client will look at you like as if you're unserious. Okay, so when you call, you're sure of what you want to go and get. Just call, hello, Mr. this, or hello, Mrs. Madam, please, what is the current price of appliques? What's the current price of this now? Then they give you the correct price, then you go ahead with the correct price. Okay, you do that to charge your clients. Clients also understand these days that the price hike is affecting everyone. Okay, so the second thing that you should do is to schedule your order for the month. When you schedule your order for the month, you're able to plan and prepare. you're able to go about with your fabric sourcing. You are able to do it in bulk, okay? You source for your fabric, you source for your sewing supplies at once, okay? So although we understand that most of the time our clients do not give us like a month's notice, or all right. So but for clients that tell you that okay, this order is not so urgent, schedule it for a month and get the sewing supplies once, instead of you having to go to the major markets like 3 times a month. You just do it together and you save yourself the cost of transportation for the other 2 times. All right. So but in that case, when the client is saying this order is urgent, I need it in 2 weeks time, or I need it next week, you have to charge them accordingly. Include your transportation fee and all of that, include it right in their bill, okay? So another thing that you also need to do is be friend with your local haberdashery. Okay, the local haberdashery, I mean those people that sell sewing supplies around you, okay? You need to get those ones that you know that okay, they are really well inclined, in tune with this thing. All right, you know that, go to their store, you say that okay, these people are really in tune, they know the appliques that are in vogue right now, the fabrics are always clean and neat, they just know what they are doing, they are on their A game, okay? Get one of them in your area, they are always in our areas, okay? So just get one of them in your area and then talk to them. Most of the time when they go to the market frequently because they have more customers, okay? So because they go to the market frequently, you can actually go to them maybe like a week before you need whatever you need. Most of the time they go to the market twice a week. All right, so just go to them, ask them how often do they go to the market. Can you send them something? If there's something you need for a dress, can they help you get it? Just ask them these questions and I'm sure that they will, because they know that they're actually making profits, okay? What, no matter how small. So the reason why I said you need to look for those ones that are on their A game is so that when they get those things for you, they will get the correct things that you have sent them, okay? So take for example, you want to go to the major markets. Like say, okay, now I'm in Lagos and I want to go to Oshodi market, okay? From my location to Oshodi market is going to cost me about 3,500. All right, and now I want to, let's just say I want to get just an applique which cost, let's say the applique cost me 10,000 naira from Oshodi major markets, okay? So if I go to Oshodi major markets by myself, don't forget that you also have to consider the cost of your thirsty, you need to get water, you need to snack on something on your way to the market because of the stress of and all of that. So don't forget that you also need to consider that. So give or take, maybe you will be spending like 4,000 or even more. Some people also maybe coming back from the market, they are too tired, they book a ride instead of going with the public transport. So for example, going to the market by yourself might cost you 5,000 naira or more, and you need an applique of, maybe you need 2 pieces each of 10,000 naira, so that's 20,000 naira. If you go to the market by yourself, you're going to spend 25,000 naira on that applique. And if you go to your local haberdashery and your local sewing supplies, I don't want you to get, I want you to understand what I'm saying properly. If you go to your local sewing supply store and you make them understand that this is exactly what I need, send them the picture, give them a sample, just cut a piece of the fabric you want to work with, then give it to them. Send them a picture of the exact design that you want. By the time they buy it, instead of you buying it for 10,000 naira, which you would buy it at the major market, they might decide that they want to sell it for 11,500. Okay, if you buy two of that will cost you 23,000 naira. Now, I think that's still a fair price compared to you going to the market yourself. And that way you are able to save some 2 or 3K. You're able to save it into your business. Maybe that will actually go to maybe upping, go to the fueling of your generating set or something. So I think this, I've actually been using this strategy for a few months now, and it's been working. Don't forget, the important thing is that you need to go to those ones that are on their A game. Don't go to those women or those men that do not really understand what you're saying, or do not really understand, or will try to convince you and say, okay, this thing and this thing, they are just look alike when it's not what you send them. Then they want to now play the pity game on you and be like, oh, and it's because you sent me, oh, that's why I bought it. Oh, just make sure that you guys are on the same page. Tell them, if you buy it and it's not the same thing, I won't take it. If you buy, make sure that this plans, make sure that this discussion are already in place. Okay, so, and that's, I can guarantee that you'll be able to save some money if you go through this video. Just ensure that you take the necessary precautions. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to turn, this is the third point. Okay, the first point is for us to, the first point is to get the supplies and get our sewing supplies in bulk. Okay, the second thing is for us to partner with our local sewing supply store. All right, then this is the third point, and the third point is for us to turn to our manual machines. Okay, discuss this situation with your staffs. They see that the cost of fuel is now really high. All right, so they understand to discuss with them. Okay, for our garment preparation, we all know that garment preparation is a stage before the sewing and all of that. For our garment preparation, for short stitches, for all of our darts and all of that, before we now start to do the heavy ironing and pressing and all of that, we need to turn to our manual sewing machines. Okay, prepare the dress. Okay, take in the darts and all of that, all of those short stitches, prepare them by the manual sewing machine. Then you can now turn on your generating set, and then you can go ahead to press. We know that pressing is important, and there's no way we can actually press well without having to power the pressing iron, our steam iron and industrial irons and all of that. So we have to turn to our manual sewing machine for those short stitches and dress preparation. Then we can now turn on the generating set to press, then go ahead with the other stages of production. So I think that will help us to will save us about, let's just say, without exaggerating, that will save us like 40% of the time by which you use in production, which would have just turned on our generation set. Okay, let's say if we need to make a dress for like 8 hours, and we have to turn our generating set for 8 hours. So we cannot compare the fuel that you're going to use turning on your generating set for 8 hours to the fuel you're going to use if, for example, you prepare that garment, okay, for 2 hours. Then you turn on your generating set for 6 hours or maybe 5 hours. All right. So, and these have been kind of helpful. This has been easing me in this past few months, and that's why I just thought to share it with you. Okay guys, so this is it. This is it about pricing and maximizing profits in times like this. Thank you guys for joining these live sessions. I would like to know where you joined from. Leave your comments below. Please leave your comment below. Let me know where you joined me from tonight, and then next week Friday again we meet again, same time, 8 p.m. This is a channel, this is a Facebook page that is dedicated to improving our businesses, especially new fashion designers, especially fashion designers that look forward to good knowledge. So in times like this, I'm happy to share with you some of my tricks, or will I say some ways by which I've been able to manage my business in times like this. And also, if there's any question you have on the pricing, please leave it in the comments. And I will attend to it as soon as I get it. Thank you so much for joining me again in this live session tonight. I'll see you again next week. Bye.